I'm a Hong Kong local illustrator running a social media platform sharing my comics called May's Diary. I put together these comics into 5 books already. So you may wonder why I call myself Maid, 庸仔 in Cantonese. Well, I was actually an air maid in the sky until last year. I have worked as a flight attendant for 5 years, serving customers in the air. Quite a maid's life, I must say. As a social media addict, I've been recording all the stories I encountered on the plane by means of comics and illustration and share them to my social media platform almost every day. Having experienced some successes, so now here I am, my restart. I'm now making a living by social media. So before I fill you in with some of my restart stories, I would like to ask my dear audience a very quick question. So if one day you wish to be a professional singer, what would you do to attract the attention of a record label? So you have 3 seconds to think about it. One day you wish to be a professional singer, what would you do? So I'm sure some of you may be thinking of sending out your demos to radio stations, right? You write some songs, you write some demos and send them out in order to let other people to discover your talent, right? That is one of the traditional ways. However, one of my friends working as a DJ at a local radio station, he told me that if he doesn't clear the song demos sent by the local artists by just 3 weeks, the demos would step up in piles, blocking the corridor that he could barely pass through. So in his eyes, those are musicians, singers, full of passion about music. All their passion is to have their songs play through the atmospheric radio waves to the audience just once. However, majority of their dreams were shattered in the game of traditional media. Nowadays, instead of sending out your demos to radio stations, youngsters are up to set up their own YouTube channel. And having your own YouTube channel isn't just for fun or to share the world your life. According to Forbes in 2020, the richest YouTuber 3 years in a row has been an American boy called Ryan Kaji from Texas. Yep, you heard me right. He's only 9 years old and he's already earning $30 million US by producing videos about toys and games. In the past decade, social media has been all over our life. On transportations, instead of reading books and newspapers like what we did way before social media has become popular, people now, almost everyone, are reading their phones on MTR or buses, as you noticed. A report on advertising expenses in 2019 showed that the expenses on digital media increased tremendously from 17% to 60% in the past 10 years. On the other hand, the expenses on traditional media, such as TV, radio, or newspaper, dropped drastically from 83% to just 40%. So what did these figures tell us? They clearly reflect that the traditional media is not as important as it used to be, and the power of social media is beyond your imagination as it continues to grow. So from all this, we may think that social media is a good way to gain popularity or to get rich, right? But to me, it has really helped me to fulfill my dreams as an illustrator and saved me during these pandemic times. So here's how my restart story unfolded. As I mentioned earlier, I worked as a flight attendant for 5 years, an air maid, as I jokingly call myself. I've encountered so many funny and sometimes annoying and even crazy stories on the plane, and I decided to use my drawing expertise and turn them into funny comics and illustrations and share them on my social media platforms. Just about 2 months after I launched my social media page, I was invited to be responsible for the promotional illustrations of my own airline's 10th anniversaries. My cartoon characters were printed onto the boarding passes and even made into a very big mascot. I felt a great sense of achievement when I saw people holding the boarding passes designed by myself during boarding. And after 5 months of running my social media platform, I got invitation from publishing company asking me to publish book. And a year after, I made my first debut as a writer and held my first autograph session at the Hong Kong Annual Book Fair. Since then, I have continued to draw while flying. The cultural shock I experienced while I travel and the stories of people I met from all over the world have given me endless inspiration. In 2018, my 2 bestsellers has earned me the Best Book Award and my Favorite Writer Award Silver at the Hong Kong Golden Book Awards. At that time, I thought my life would be perfect if I can continue both of my drawing and flying careers simultaneously. However, last year, the pandemic has devastated the whole aviation and travel industry. Last year, the airlines I was flying with cut all the destinations flying to Hong Kong. Soon, I got unemployed. Then everything has changed. What should I do after I stopped being an air maid? I was so panicked at that time, and I have no idea what job I will apply. Though I have a degree in design, my 5 years flying experience seemed irrelevant and unqualified to be a graphic designer or to help me to enter the design field again. So that was also the time my father was unfortunately paralyzed due to a stroke. So facing all these financial burdens, I was so stressed. It was like on the crossroad, not knowing which direction to go. No one but social media has saved me. Thanks to social media, because of the fan base I've been accumulating since the past 5 years, I was able to start my new life from a flight attendant to a full-time illustrator. By full-time, I mean I have always been treating my social media platform as a side project because of the duties and responsibilities as a flight attendant. Because of the workload as a flight attendant, you always have to fly everywhere. You can't really treat it as a full-time job. But now, instead of treating it just a hobby, I can really pull my heart out and pull all my attention in developing my social media platform. Looking back, I first thought of my social media platforms as just a hobby. I didn't expect they can really support my living. In the first few months of running my social media platforms full-time, I ventured into different domains, such as making videos. Those are what I was not familiar with. I told myself I had to step out of my comfort zone if I wanted to treat it seriously as a career. Fortunately, after a few videos, I've received sponsors from various brands. On the other side, I continue to draw and post. The content I create is not confined to flying anymore. It can be anything. Now I talk about my cat, my family, and even the society. With this breakthrough in Sora, before there were only travel-related brands would approach me, but now my illustration have attracted different brands from different categories and even got the chance to shoot commercials. I would like to show some slides of my work. But it's been a year and a half I stopped being an air mate. Things have got better and has become more stable as I managed to earn a rather regular income by launching my new merchandises, developing a merchandise market of my theme of my own character, and doing commercials with other brands. These are the work I've done in the past year. And because of social media, I even got the chance to shoot commercials for a new computer because of the function you can draw on the surface. In the past Chinese New Year, I designed a new cat toy and sold 500 of them just online. So now I won't address myself as unemployed anymore. I'm proud to say that I'm an illustrator, a writer, and an influencer. I'm happy to tell the world that I can take care of myself, my family, and my cats. I may not be a successful illustrator yet, but I will continue to work hard towards my goals. I'd like to take this golden opportunity to encourage you all. If you have a dream, no matter you want to be an actor or actress, a singer, or an illustrator like me, instead of entering the field with traditional media, why don't you give it a try on social media first? It's undeniable that both requires hard work, no matter you're engaged in social media or traditional media. But I can tell you that social media is the norm right now, and there's no easier way to obtain new opportunities there. Things have changed thanks to social media. You don't necessarily have to send your song demos to the radio station in order to be a singer. You don't necessarily have to mail your articles to the newspaper in order to be a writer. You don't necessarily have to be discovered on the street to be a model, because social media is the stage where you can perform. Social media is the key to opportunities. So this year, TEDxHSUHK theme is to restart. To me, restart means to embrace new changes, leaving the past behind and embarking on a new journey. So this is my restart story. I'm Mate, a Hong Kong local illustrator. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I hope you can find your restart story soon. Thank you.